Yo guys, what is up? Today I'm gonna be bringing you the Pokemon Auction League Week 3 game. But first of all, obviously the team builder, or the team analysis part of the video I should say, since I already built the team. Don't really remember how I did these in the previous 2 weeks because it has been a while. Since it is kind of an off-season league, it's not really that crucial to get your battles done each week. It's just a it's like one battle every 2 weeks, so it's pretty nice pace. But yeah, I built a team for my week 3 opponent, which is the Osaka Eevees, coached by Colton or Shadow Gaming Hub. He's in the PPL, I want to say D2? Pretty sure it's D2. If it's not, then it's D1 of course, so yeah. But he's in the PPL. So links to Shadow Gaming Hub / Colton will be in the description down below. Check out his content, and yeah, that's basically I think my whole intro. Quickly onto the team that he can potentially bring, or the mons that he got himself in the auction. Mega Altaria, Ferrothorn, Porygon 2, Seismitoad, Darmanitan, Hitmontop, Excelgor, Uxie, Lanturn, Kecleon, and the Regice. Pretty scary team. It's definitely a team that has flaws, but also definitely a team that can be potentially really destructive. And the synergy is actually pretty decent in this team. So honestly, it's not gonna be an easy game necessarily, because his team has the potential to just wreck my team if he brings the correct set and he brings the correct mons and makes the correct plays. But yeah, that's obviously every team every week, so that's not an exception. However, basically the mons that I really expect to bring are Mega Altaria, Uxie, Darmanitan, and either Ferrothorn or Excelgor for the spikes, for the at least hazards, Seismitoads, and B2. I think he might bring Lanturn, since Lanturn is just a really good check to Thunderous Eye, and he might bring it over something like Seismitoad, but then, yeah, he might, I don't know. I think that's gonna be his team though. Yo guys, what is up? I'm back. Something happened with the recording, so I have to re-record this. And it gives me a chance to do it a little bit shorter, because the other one was like 22 minutes, so yeah. But I'm bringing Latios as my first mon. Latios is a Dragon Dancing substitute Earthquake Dragonclaw Latios. I think it's gonna be more win condition depending on the mons that he brings, because he does have a lot of checks to it, or potential checks to it. However, a lot of setup fodder for this specific Latios as well. Something like a defensive Mega Altaria, or like a max HP variant, or like a full health variant of Altaria is definitely a really good check to this Latios. If he's like Hyper Force, then an even better check. Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn is bulky. Ferrothorn does not die to Earthquake or Dragonclaw very easily, and it has Gyro Ball, so that's definitely a good check to a Latios as well. Porygon 2, if it's like foul play Porygon 2, which I have seen being used before, it's also a decent check to this Latios. Actually decent, it's a really good check if it's physical defensive. And yeah, and offensive Excelgor is also a problem if I don't get a Dragon Dance up, so yeah, those are all problems for this Latios set, unfortunately. However, I don't think he will bring all of them, which kind of helps. And I also have a lot of setup fodder, which I can set up a substitute against, or set up a Dragon Dance against, depending on what suits me the best at that point in the game. Something like Seismitoad can be setup fodder, something like P2 can even be setup fodder if it doesn't have foul play, or Ice Beam or something, or Dark Pulse, which I do think he's gonna have Dark Pulse for mainly Jirachi. But Seismitoad, I have seen Seismitoad being used as a, well, I was in the NPL finals this season. Don't know if you watched that game, but Trev the King used a Seismitoad versus Jolt, the Token Minorities, and the Token Minorities had Dragon Dancing Latios as well, and the only check on Trev's team to that Latios was a Seismitoad with a Scald Burn, and it actually got a Scald Burn, so that's really lucky on Trev's part. However, I know that my opponent might not bring Ice Punch as well, because Seismitoad kind of has like the limited move slots and also needs to be physical for that, or mixed or whatever, so he might decide to not bring Ice Punch, and if he doesn't, then it's set up for me. Darmanitan is set up for Latios, I guess the U-turn is a problem, however I do think it's going to be a Soul Scrub that made him, which I'm going to be banking on it anyway unless I'm proven wrong early on in the game. But that could be a problem. That could not be a problem, that could be set up for all I want to say, yeah. If he locks himself into like Earthquake, Stone Edge, Superpower, any of those moves or Flat Blitz, I can set up against it and I can hopefully just beat it and beat the rest of his team. Hypnotop is a really easy setup for her. Hypnotop is pretty bad against Psychic types, and especially Psychic types with Substitute. As the only, like, Hypnotop is, I'm not a fan of Hypnotop. No, I'm not a fan of Hypnotop because Hypnotop just is set up for so many different mons, and especially if a mon carries Substitute, the toxic that Hypnotop often carries to check those mons is just negated, and it's just set up for her and it's bad. So that's the reason why I personally don't like Hypnotop, and I'm hoping to try and prove that in the game versus the Osaka Eevees, depending on if he brings Hypnotop or not. And if he does, then hopefully it's set up for this Latios with the sub, Dragon Dance, Earthquake and Dragon Claw moveset. I might be able to set up against Yuxi if he doesn't carry like Signal Beam, which he might, I don't know, depending on his moveset. Kecleon could be a problem, because Kecleon is kind of bulky, it gets the Circle Punch, gets the knockoff, and Regis is, depending on the situation, might be a problem, because it's definitely not set up for her. However, if I get a Substitute up, I think I can do a KO it, so that's, yeah, depending on the situation, I guess. I'm not really sure. I don't think he'll bring Regis though, although he's a big fan of it. I think he brought it twice in the previous 2 weeks, so he might bring it. If he does, then that's completely fine, because I'm not afraid of Regis. Hope I don't get proven wrong by underestimating Regis here, but we'll see, I guess, yeah. Next up is Jirachi, my second win condition. Jirachi is an Energy Ball, Hidden Power Fire, Flash Cannon, Calm Mindset. Energy Ball, Hidden Power Fire, obviously to break his core weaknesses, core of Ferrothorn and Seismitoad. The Flash Cannon is there for the to check the Mega Altaria, especially since it's a decent core altogether, those 3 months. And with the Flash Cannon and the Sugar Berry, I can check a Dragon Dancing variant of Altaria, as well as just a special attacking variant, because Fire Blast doesn't KO me at full health. So I have Calm Mind, because Calm Mind allows me to set up against some things, and that it guarantees me some KOs with these particular moves. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to add about it. It's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. The speed is there to outspeed their Manton in case he's not Show Scarfed. It's not like I can hit it for good damage. However, with Stealth Rocks and with the Flower Blades recall damage, I think I can weaken it quite easily, so hopefully. I also have E-Speed on Arcanine, so that might help as well. But yeah, I'm Sugar Berry to help me check the Altaria if he's Dragon Dancing variant of Altaria. I'm also Sugar Berry in case of an offensive Seismitoad, which I do not expect, but if he's like Rindo Berry, Energy Ball, if it's like Rindo Berry, Seismitoad, Energy Ball is not gonna KO, so Sugar Berry might be useful to take the Earthquake or Earth Power depending on the moveset. Or maybe a Bulldoze from a Ferrothorn, that could also be a thing, although I'm not really afraid of Bulldoze doing the damage, it's more that the speed drop is annoying. I did have Toxic on this set at first, because Porygon 2 is a humongous problem to Jirachi and its capabilities of breaking the cores. So I had Toxic on it at first to break down the Porygon 2. However, I decided against it later on in the team building part, because I knew that Calm Mind was going to be good as well. And so I'm kind of banking on my other mons to do the job of toxicking Porygon 2, because if I do not get Porygon 2 toxic, then Jirachi is going to be pretty useless unless he does that Dark Pulse, because if he doesn't, then it might be set up for her. If he's like, I guess he shouldn't have T-Wave as well, because T-Wave kind of sucks. But yeah, basically Jirachi is useful, however with the P2 being very healthy, it's not going to do jack shit, so I need P2 toxic before Jirachi can shine. And I'm banking on Arcanine and Miltank doing that role. Hopefully they can bait it in. I expect them to. So yeah, I'm banking on them. And if they don't, then hopefully I can play around it where I'm forcing him to stay in with a P2 or to switch in a P2 on those mons. But we'll see if I'm actually able to do that, because my playing has been good and bad depending on the weeks. Hopefully today is a good week, good day. We'll see in a bit, in like 40 minutes now, if that's actually the case. But a team prep for now: Arcanine, E-Speed, Flare-Blitz, Toxic, and Monoxen with leftovers, and especially defensive. The Toxic is there, like I said, to weaken his Parliament 2 mainly. Also, his Yuxi is his Yuxi being Toxic is fantastic, because Yuxi is bulky and I want it weakened, and that's possible. Monoxen for longevity. I'm especially defensive because if I'm especially defensive, I can easily live hits from a defensive Seismitoad, which I expect him to bring to switch into an Arcanine, for example. And I will be able to Toxic stall the Seismitoad, so that's gonna be hopefully really good. I am physical. I was special at first with Hidden Progress and with Flamethrower. However, I needed the extreme speed, I felt, to check his offense mainly, his Darmanitan, his Excelgor. I wanted to check it, and I wanted to have E-Speed for those mons specifically. I know that like Flare Blitz, Recall plus Rocky Helmet plus Sticky Barbs, Iron Barbs, yeah, those ones. I know that they can be kind of deadly to an Arcanine, so hopefully I will be able to play around that, or to not put myself in a range where I die to certain stuffs. We'll see. I'm not really confident that I can, depending on his Ferrothorn set, if he brings Ferrothorn, of course, so yeah. But that's basically a very self-explanatory Arcanine. I don't think there's anything that needs to be said about it. The speed investment is to outspeed something that speed creeps Jirachi. I don't know if he's gonna bring it, but I felt that this little speed investment would be potentially worth it, so yeah. Next up is gonna be a Scarf Crocodile. Scarf Crocodile, I'm not sure how much work it's gonna do. I had Bandit Crocodile at first, but I think that I need Scarf Crocodile to deal with his offense more. This is a backup check to a Dragon Dancing Altaria, because I outspeed it and I can Iron Tail it. The knockoff is there to just spam and to hopefully weaken some monster steam, especially if like P2 comes in, then I can knock off its Violite. If Yuxi is in, I can knock off that item, so it's hopefully gonna be really crucial. Hopefully it's gonna be like good enough. It's not gonna be crucial, I don't think. Maybe it is actually, so I don't know. But Scarf Crocodile is just a standard Crocodile bring every week, and potentially if I knock out his ground immunities, which are Altaria and Yuxi, I will be able to clean up the Moxie Scarfed Earthquake Sweep. So that is also kind of a thing that can potentially happen. And the superpower is there because P2, like, I don't know, I needed like a last move slot. And the superpower is nice for the Red Size P2 and Ferrothorn and shit, so yeah. Could have opted to go for Pursuit, but I don't think that I need Pursuit. Yuxi Weakened is fantastic, but it's not like I have any other Dark Spam moves, so I don't need to knock out the Colbert Berry on the Yuxi if he is Colbert Berry on Yuxi, which he might be for the Crocodile. So yeah, that's basically why I opted to go for Superpower over Pursuit. I guess also this is self-explanatory. The problem is with Crocodile is that Darmanitan outspeeds it if it's Geoscarved, so could suck, definitely could suck. But forcing in Darmanitan is pretty nice, especially if I have Stealth Procs up, which I will have on my Clefable. Spoilers. I guess I said spoilers a little bit too late, but anyhow, next move. Next mon is Miltank, and Miltank is my other mon that carries Toxic, because I think that P2 might switch in on Miltank, especially because I'm Fire Punch and Ice Punch, and Milk Drink. This is to stop Ferrothorn from getting up hazards, and to pressure it to switch out and to weaken it, because Ferrothorn is a problem if he gets up hazards, of course, because I don't have Defog on my team. And Ice Punch is to check the Altaria a little bit, so yeah. I don't have stab coverage or coverage that hits certain mons in his team. However, with the Toxic and with the Milk Drink, I think I might be able to Toxic stall something. I don't know. I don't have Heal Bell, so if his P2 carries Toxic himself, I will not be able to Heal Bell the damage off, so that's unfortunate, but I don't think that Miltank is that crucial to me winning. All it needs to do is basically get Toxic off on certain mons in his team and to stop them from setting up against me, so hopefully I will be able to do that with Miltank. And last but not least is Clefable. Clefable is Stealth Rush Clefable. Moonblast healing with Flamethrower. Flamethrower, of course, for the Ferrothorn again. Moonblast is First Step, and I can hit up weaknesses of his against Moonblast, like Altaria, like Hypnotop. And Healing Wish is there because I have never used Healing Wish on Clefable before, so I want to use that, and I think it can help me use Jirachi and Latios a little bit riskier. I think it can, I think it can basically play around them a lot more recklessly, and I can Healing Wish them back up later on in the game, and hopefully then sweep. Maybe something else needs to be revived from almost being dead with the Healing Wish, depending on what I consider to be my win condition late game. But yeah, this speed is there to outspeed, Hypnotop is there to outspeed, Kecleon and Casey is like choiced. Not choiced, I mean Jolly max speed, so. Because like Iron Tail and Protean, I didn't want to have mind games with that, so yeah. The defense investment is there to just even out the special defense and physical defense. And the HP investment is there to take some hits, I guess, yeah. Don't think Clefable is too crucial. All I want to do with Clefable is get up Stealth Rocks, because Stealth Rocks are pretty good against my opponent. He has a few Stealth Rock weaknesses, and I want Stealth Rocks up, and he doesn't really have the best way of getting rid of them, because Hypnotop is his spinner, and I don't think he has a Defogger, so... And because Hypnotop is quite bad, I think that Stealth Rocks will be able to stay up, and yeah, I think that's about it. So, let me know what you think of the team, and hopefully I'll see you in roughly 10 seconds when I will face the Osaka Eevees. In the meantime, check out his channel, in the 10 seconds that I mentioned. Check out his channel and his Twitter, but be right. Yo guys, welcome back. I just finished playing Shadow Gaming Hub, coach of the Osaka Eevees, so we're gonna hop right into the battle. As you can see on the screen, he brought a combination of Darmanitan, Mega Altaria, Uxie, Ferrothorn, Lanturn and Porygon 2. So the only thing that I kind of didn't expect, but also kind of did expect, was Lanturn. I expected something like Siphon over Lanturn, however I can see why he brought Lanturn, since he did have a Thunderous Tyrion Incarnate. I don't know which one I had actually. No, 20T, I had 20T definitely, 20i. The one with Prankster, that one, I always mix them up. So yeah, I can see why he brought it over Siphon anyway, so. However, that's the team he brought. He brought, I think, the 6 best mons that he could have used against me. So that's also that's like a plus and for him. But that means for me that I prepared for the correct mon. So that's also pretty good. His potential stealth rockers, because he doesn't have Siphon, are Ferrothorn and Uxie. And this means that I should lead off with something that can beat both of them, since I do expect him to lead off with either one of the two, and the other potential lead would be Darmanitan, since it's likely Scarfed and it's gonna be able to U-turn out on me if the situation ends up being like that. However, I start off with something that's not really dealing with those, so I'm starting off on the back foot because I lead off a Miltank thinking that I could beat one of at least these few mons. However, I think my best lead would have been, obviously in hindsight, Orcanite, since Orcanite can beat the Ferrothorn, it can get the crucial Toxic Orb on Uxie, and it can just 1v1 the Darmanitan. So, kind of a bad lead for me. Okay, hopefully I will remember to edit out the music, because that kind of spooked me. But as you can see, here's the Ockerberry on the Ferrothorn, and he can easily live the Fire Punch that Miltank throws at it, since Miltank is not too offensive. And he can get a Stealth Rocks up, so I'm already on the back foot because he's got a Stealth Rocks up. I have a weakened Miltank because, as you can see in the following turn, Terror Ball does knockoff gets crit. That does a decent amount of damage, does 38%. I tried to shrink off the damage, but it turns out he's max attack because the Gyro Ball does a lot of damage. And knowing that I will lose this matchup 1v1, he switches out into his Darmanitan expecting the Fire Punch, and he does that pretty nicely because I am gonna go for Fire Punch. I also considered switching out. However, Miltank isn't too crucial from the team, so I decided to sack it off right here. To the Troybrowse, the Darmanitan, which is again likely Scarfed until I get proven it isn't Scarfed, especially with the team that he has brought. I think it is Scarfed since it is his fastest mon together with Uxie, so it's likely Scarfed still. I just had to bring in my Arcanine because Arcanine generally deals with Scarfed Darmanitan quite well, especially since it's locked into Flare Blitz, and I can just get off a free Toxic. And as you can see, luckily for me, the Paragon 2 is brought in, so Paragon 2 is now on a timer, which is fantastic. If I want to win with either the Latios or the Jirachi, Paragon 2 has to be Toxic. So. Following turn, I go to Clefable, kind of expecting him to go for an attack, and I can heal it off. I mean, it's generally a really good switch in, and he kind of, I don't know if he predicts it, probably not. I think he wants to sack off his Lanturn right here. And since he is in the lead right now, since it's 6-5 and he has basically outplayed me for the whole game so far, I decided to just stay and get Stealth Dogs because they are crucial for me to win, as the Darmanitan is a problem, the Altaria is a problem, and I just want to weaken everything on his team just by chip damage from the Stealth Rock. So the Stealth Rock were crucial for me. Even if I lost Clefable right there, it wouldn't have been too bad, although he had no move that could Oko me. Zygarden would have done a lot of damage, and he expected me to switch out into, I'm assuming, one of my resist to Zygarden. However, he's been making a lot of plays, and finally I get some momentum by him over-predicting my switch out to Clefable, out of Clefable, switching Clefable out, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. However, Clefable is not really that crucial for me to win, I don't think. I mean, the Healing Wish is nice, without speed a decent portion of his team. The bulk is nice, however, it's not crucial for me to win. It's nice that I have the bulk right now, because I can use it in some situations where I can just live a hit and then do damage back. However, as you can see, the Yuxi is brought in, he goes for Iron Tail. I switch out into Orcanine, knowing that Orcanine kind of walls this thing, depending on the status he has. And as you can see, I do wall it, except for the fact that he has TOA, which is annoying. However, I can still beat this thing 1v1. I go for the double Toxic right here, as I know that he's likely gonna switch, not being able to beat me, unless I get really unlucky with the Paralyze. And he brings in his DuckTales, which I can also beat 1v1, because as you can see in the following turn, the damage from Dry Attack is kind of laughable. So, and because I'm paralyzed and not toxic, I can win 1v1 as long as I'm getting paralyzed to shit. I get paralyzed on this turn, which is annoying because I would have been able to damage the Paragon. And I get paralyzed on this turn, so it's already looking kind of bad for me. However, I have to get pretty unlucky if I would die to the Paragon 1v1. And he knows that he basically cannot win unless he gets really lucky, which he doesn't expect to get, although he does get really lucky because I get another Paralyze on his switch out into this guy, the Altaria, as I go for the heal move, of course, the Morning Sun. On the following turn I would have been able to get a Toxic off, unless he is Substitute, which I wouldn't expect him to be, although that would be the best set against my team in my opinion. At least at this point, or in the pre-game, like before the game started, I figured that that's beat me. But as you can see, he is not the substitute set, because he would have gone for substitute right there if he was. I go into Jirachi because Jirachi can eat it up with the Sugar Berry. I kind of expect him to just go for the Earthquake, however I didn't want to risk anything and I just went in a safe check into Jirachi because it is a switch in, it can KO the Altaria back in the following turn, so yeah. I get some revenge hacks by the Flash Cannon special defense drop, which is nice, although Yuxi wasn't a really big problem for the team, and it would have been an easy switching into Krookodile, which even if we went for a second beam or something along those lines, it wouldn't have done anything, and Krookodile doesn't need to be at full health to do anything, so that wouldn't have been too bad at all. So I guess that hex doesn't really matter. The hex against my Arcanine was way bigger in my opinion. Okay, this was actually a crucial turn the turn before this, because I sacked off the Jirachi thinking that I could just basically sweep with Latios at this point. As Scar of the Darmanitan is set up for the Latios. Well, set up for it depends on what he locks himself into, because Flare does a lot of damage still because of the sheer force and the high attack stat from the Darmanitan. However, I can set up Dragon Dance against this and I can just proceed from there. However, as you can see, I sacked off Jirachi, kind of scouting for what he would lock himself into. If he would go for the U-turn, I would have been able to live that, and I would have been able to get another kill likely against something on his team. Would it be the Lanturn, would it be the Paragon 2, or would it be the Altaria? So that's the reason why I decided to stay in. However, he kills me with Flare Blitz, which is kind of bad because I lose Jirachi, which was actually pretty useful. It was a win condition if Darmanitan died. However, I let it go right there, thinking that Latios would be my win condition. And that's how I'm gonna play this game now. As you can see, Flare Blitz does a huge chunk of damage, which actually does more than I expected. And because of the stealth rocks, I will not be able to live 2 of them, as yeah, as you can see on the screen. I don't have enough health to live another one, so I have to KO this Darmanitan. Unfortunately, it's not going to help me out too much since Jirachi is gone, and if I had Jirachi left, then I would have won this game with Jirachi. However, he played it correctly by killing my Jirachi when he had the chance, and yeah. As you can see, he has the balloon on Lanturn, which is kind of bad because now I can't KO it, and I know that he has Ice Beam because Ice Beam would make sense on Lanturn against my team. And as you can see, he goes for the Ice Beam. I switch in Arcanine knowing that I can resist it. I can go for the E-Speed, killing the balloon off, which meant that if the balloon is taken down, then I can just sweep a Krookodile. He switched out into DuckTales, the Porygon 2, and I get paralyzed again, so that's like 4 or 5 paralysis. Didn't really count them, but a lot. Which means that Arcanine actually, despite being a huge win condition this week, because it actually took his team on really well defensively, just gets out hexed to shit and it dies. Not too bad, because I can just switch in anything right here and can just proceed from there. As I switch in Clefable, knowing that Clefable does match up against both the mons that he has left, being Altaria and Lanturn. If he brings in Lanturn right here, he loses his balloon. And if he brings in Altaria right here, he can live 1 hit from the Clefable. But from there, after that I can kill him, depending on if he goes for the kill against me or if I kill him. So yeah, he goes into Lanturn. If he would have gone into Altaria, I would have outsped it because it turns out that he is max HP, max HP, max attack. So I wouldn't have been 2-hit KO'd by the Clefable, wouldn't have been 2-hit KO'd by Altaria, and I would have won with Clefable right there, or won, but 1v1 I would have won. So yeah, luckily for me he goes into Lanturn, because at that point in the battle I figured that Altaria would be the bigger threat. But yeah, it would have won 1v1. On the following turn, I go for the Moonblast to just break the balloon, but he goes for the Soak. And that's not a move I expected at all, because Soak is a really cool move. However, it's very difficult to use effectively. But he tried to Soak me, and yeah, it kind of worked because I decided to kill myself off on the following turn, thinking that I can basically win with either the Moxie Krook or the Latios, and I know that I could have won with Moxie Krook right here. However, I want to win with Latios because Latios is kind of the mon that I wanted to show off and kind of preserved it as my win condition. However, it turns out that this was a big choke. At least it could have potentially been a big choke, because on the following turn I go to Latios, set up a Dragon Dance, knowing that I can live Ice Beam. Even if he freezes me, I still have Krookodile and backwards, can just clean up from here. Because of the Moxie boost. However, I go for the EQ right here, killing off the Lanturn, and on the following turn he switches in Altaria and he goes for the Cotton Guard. And by me killing off the Clefable with the Healing Wish, the Cotton Guard Altaria could have potentially won against me. So that was really scary, and I didn't expect to face a Cotton Guarding Altaria, so it was a near choke. I almost lost to Cotton Guard Altaria, which would have been bad, and I definitely need to be more careful with my win conditions, because it turns out that Latios wasn't a guaranteed win condition, which I did think it would be. And yeah, it's something that's a learning experience. Luckily for me, it didn't really matter in the end, because I went for the EQ and I got a really low roll. However, the second EQ would still be easily enough to take down the Altaria, since I think the roll on the first EQ was 46 to 54%, and the second one was like 18 to 22%. So I was easily able to hit KO the Altaria. However, if he would have gone for Roosts and Cotton Guards and he would have gotten lucky with the rolls, then he could have potentially clinched the victory because of my choke. So that was kind of bad. However, it was a really good game nonetheless. He surprised me with the Altaria and also with the Soak Lanturn, and he got good momentum early on in the game. So definitely well played on the Osaka Eevees part, on Golden's part, because I didn't expect to get on the back foot that easily and that quickly in the game. I guess it's me to blame as well, because I just didn't lead up with the correct one, and I lost a lot of momentum from there. But luckily for me, I managed to get back in the game somehow. I managed to just pressure him with the Jirachi, with the Scarf Krook in the back, and with the Mega Latios, because Mega Latios was crucial in taking down the Darmanitan. However, I didn't really play everything as I planned to, or didn't play everything too well. But that's just a props to Golden, as he just forced me to make some predictions and some plays that I, in an ideal situation, wouldn't have done. But yeah, luckily I do still come out with the victory, a 2-0 win in my favor against the Shadow Gaming Hub, against the Osaka Eevees. So right now I'm 3-0 with a plus 12 differential, I want to say. The other games have not been played at this point, so I can't spoil anything, even if I wanted to. But I know that GeoBrodude, the coach of the Zygarden, still not sure if I pronounced it correctly, probably not. He had a plus 6 differential after the first 2 weeks with 2 wins. Meaning that he can potentially tie with me if he wins 6-0. However, I don't expect him to get 6-0 necessarily, so I think I'm still first. And if he wins 6-0, I guess I'm still first. I'm just shared first. So yeah, that's pretty good. For me, I'm still doing well in the PAL, which is nice. That's the goal I had in mind. I want to beat everyone in this league, and yeah, so far so good. Next week, I'm not really sure who I'm facing. I guess I can just quickly look it up. I'm facing the AS Monferno, coached by Onesie Baynet, Alex. So yeah, look forward to that. Don't know when I'm gonna upload that video because don't know if we're gonna do transfers first. I think the plan was to do transfers after week 2. However, none of the well, not none of the people, but not the amount of people that we wanted to have for transfers were available at the scheduled time, or were there at the scheduled time. So we decided to go for another week without transfers, and that's fine. However, I'm not sure when we'll do transfers right now. I will ask in the chat momentarily. But depending on when we decide to do those, after that we will face the AS Monferno potentially with some new members on the team, because I think I'm gonna change something. We'll see whenever that happens though. So for now, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, because that's always appreciated. And yeah, check out the Osaka Eevees coach, Shadow Gaming Hub, in the description down below, because he is pretty good, as you could have seen in the fight against him today. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.